Hello. I thought I would tell a ghost story. One I've told on this channel already, um, but I think it's been about 5 years. It's been a while, and some of you may not have heard it. So I've got a lot of ghost stories. I thought I would tell one. I would say the first trailer haunting. I've lived in a few trailers in my life. Never in a trailer park. It's always been a trailer out by itself in the woods or on a lot, all by itself. But this one happened when I was newlywed, 20 years old, 19 or 20, married with a baby. I guess I just turned 20. And, okay, a picture's worth 1,000 words. This is me at my brother's wedding, the same year that this event happened. That's my mom with me, and there's my wife sitting there with the white flower. So I just thought I would add this picture to put things in perspective. I had long brown hair. Imagine that. Wasn't bald. Whatever. And my wife and I were in this trailer one night. I think it was a Saturday night. I remember this very well. And the trailer was a single wide trailer. Definitely wasn't anything fancy. They didn't have fancy trailers back then, really, that I know of. It was a single wide trailer that sat all by itself in a rural area. There was a clearing. I think I had a big front yard, like about an acre of lawn, maybe an acre and a half of lawn. And the trailer, the way it was set out, like any trailer, you got a front door and you open it up and you're in the kitchen. And the kitchen becomes the living room. You got a kitchen with a dining room, table, and some, everything you got in the kitchen: stove, fridge, counters, shelves, and then the table where you eat, and then, like all these single wides, then it becomes, your living room. Then you go down the hall, and there's usually 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, and that's your trailer. Home sweet home. Single wide style. And there's usually another door opening up in the back. And that's what this was. And so my wife and I were sitting on a couch in the living room in our single wide trailer one night. And our daughter, who was newborn, really, maybe 2 months old, she was all the way in the back in a crib in our room, which was in the very back of the trailer, sleeping. And she'd been sleeping. And my wife and I are sitting there, and behind us is our backyard, which wasn't much, and some woods. And in front of us was a vast front lawn, about an acre of grass, with trees on either side, where somebody had just cut a clearing out in the woods and put a driveway and some utilities and put a trailer there. That was our place. And it wasn't a new trailer either. I don't know. So we're sitting there, her and I. We weren't talking. We weren't watching TV. There was no TV on. And in front of us, about not much further from me to the camera, was a great big window in our living room. Really wide window, a large window that gave you a complete view of our front yard. And I don't think we had curtains. Imagine that. It wouldn't be the first time I didn't have curtains when I moved into a place, but there weren't any curtains. And behind us, we're sitting on a couch. Behind us is another window, pretty large, not as large as the one that was in front of us, but large enough. So we're just sitting there, her and I, and we're not talking. We're not arguing. We're sitting there. There wasn't any music on. There wasn't any TV on. Just sitting there quiet. And we could see the whole front yard. It was moonlit. I recall that. It was really lit up with moon and stars. It was summertime. When all of a sudden, this ghost I don't know if it was a man or a woman or what. It was white and it kind of glowed. Well, this wasn't hard to draw. That's what it looked like. That's exactly what it looked like. So, pretty easy. It looked like a stick figure, but it had more substance. And you could see the arms, legs, and the head. It just comes strolling right by in front of us, in front of our window, quite clearly. I would say it was maybe 10 feet in front of our trailer. And it just comes strolling by, swinging its arms. And we freaked. We both jumped up off the couch. We reacted. And I remember my wife, she wasn't used to this stuff, and I was a little bit at this point in my life already at 20. I'd already experienced things like these periodically, like now, periodically. Sometimes I'll go a year, a couple years before anything happens. Then all of a sudden, it really has to depend upon where I'm at. All kinds of hauntings and things. And we jumped up, and I could still hear her voice. I was 20, she was 19. We just turned 19 and 20. We got married when I was 19 and she was 18. Imagine that. And she jumped up. I'm like, what the? I remember I said, what the F was that? And she saw it, and I remember her voice. I still hear it. She goes, I don't know. I'm trying to do her voice. She says, I'm scared. That's what she says, right? She says, I'm scared. And we're both kind of freaking out a bit because we both clearly saw this glowing stick figure man just stroll right in front of our window. Now, here's the thing. We're both standing in the trailer. Like, what's going on here? We jumped up off the couch and we're both standing close to each other, scared. Because we saw this very clearly. I mean, with the view that we had from where we're sitting, we saw it walk pretty much the whole in front of our trailer. It wasn't just a passing glance. We got a really good look at it. Now, on the front of our trailer, where the door opened up into the dining room, not the dining room, the kitchen part, the front of the trailer, you know, there was they built this cheap 2x4 plywood front porch somebody put together so that when you got out of your car, there was no garage. You just parked your car on this dirt driveway and you walked in, you entered into a porch, a closed-in porch, a small one. And then there was a couple of steps and a door that opened up into a trailer. And the door opened out. And that plays into this. So we're both jumped up and I'm like, what the was that? And she says, I don't know, I'm scared. I can't do her voice right now, but I still remember. I thought it was kind of funny. Not then, I was scared too, quite honestly. Then we heard it on our front porch. There was a garbage can and some paint cans, as I recall, and some other clutter in there where we put our garbage. You could hear the paint cans getting thrown around. You could hear the garbage cans get knocked over. Like this thing walked in front of our trailer, went into our front porch, and just started trashing everything inside there. And we're both like, what the? We're shocked. And we're standing there in the living room, and the front door is about, if I'm standing there facing the front of my trailer, the front door is right over this way. Maybe, you get the idea. I'm in the living room. It's maybe 10 feet away from me. And the door opened out into the front porch, right? Now, they had put a real heavy chain. Hold on a second. I got to demonstrate. All right, I went out and actually got a chain to show you what happened. So to recap, we're sitting there chilled out, just staring out onto our front yard, moonlit, lit up quite bright. And we both see a glowing ghost, kind of white, luminescent, with a slight glow to it. Arms, legs, head, torso, just strolls right in front of our trailer, right in plain view for us. Then we jump up, and then we hear it on our porch, throwing things around. And it did later on. Everything was tossed all around. So we're standing there wondering what to do, what's going on, terrified. I don't know about terrified. I was scared. She was terrified. I wasn't quite terrified, but I was just shocked. Now there's a chain holding. It was like the chain was twice this long, so it was hanging with about this much slack, on the wall. And but so that when they opened the door, that opened out, the chain prevented the door from swinging all the way open onto our front porch. I don't remember why. Maybe it would have hit a window or something in there. I don't remember. But there's a chain hanging on the wall right in front of us. Now, we just heard this thing trashing the inside of our porch. Throwing garbage can. Could hear the garbage can getting tossed. Cans, like there were paint cans getting knocked over. It was trashing it. Then it went quiet. Then the chain that was hanging on the wall right in front of us lifted straight up like this. Right in front of us. All right? And it was about this long, but it was doubled. And it lifted straight up like this, levitated by itself. And we're both looking at it. We're like, it was right in front of us. And it just hung there for a few minutes and it went like forcibly slammed up against the wall. Right? Clap. Like somebody picked it up. The invisible man, because we didn't see him now. We saw him when he was outside. And then like he went like this and slammed it up against the wall. So I'm like, what the hell? We were freaking out. We were like beside ourselves, scared. And I looked around. That's all you could do is where is he? Where is he? And whoever. And I looked at our back window, and there he was again, strolling, the glowing man, you could say. Now he was strolling behind our trailer, walking behind it. And you could see him quite clearly. I said, there he is. And she saw it, and she said, I'm scared. She was really scared. I said, let's get out of here, right? That means we had to go outside and get in my car. That was the scary part. Well, we got our baby daughter in the back of the trailer. And it was dark back there. She was sleeping away. Never woke up through all this. I was such a wimp. I said, go get Ann. And she says, you go get him, she says. And we're looking, neither of us wanted to go down there because that's the last place we saw this ghost walking, was going that way around the back of the trailer, behind our trailer, going towards the back of the trailer. And I said, let's both go get her. She says, okay. We got Ann and a few other things, bundled up, and we went out, and that's when I saw all the things were knocked over in my porch. We left the trailer in a hurry and got my car, which was a 1969 Dodge Polaris that year. Nice old car. Mopar. We got in that car, and we went to my parents' house, which they lived about 5 miles away. And we stayed there for 2 nights, as I recall. And we went back to the trailer, and nothing ever happened again. It was a one-time occurrence, because we were both apprehensive. Is this going to happen again? But nothing ever happened there again. Nothing. To my memory, that was it. It was just like somebody was passing through and thought they would mess with us. So that was the first trailer haunting. And I still recall that. I still recall it very well. It's funny as some things, well, if you tell the story enough times, it stands out in your memory. There wasn't a lot to it. There wasn't a lot of dialogue. We were both just scared. And whatever this thing was, it was messing with us. It was just trying to disrupt us, to have some fun or whatever. I don't know what its intentions were. It didn't bother us. It didn't bother us again. I never saw it again, and I don't recall that there were any hauntings in there again after that. And honestly, I went through a period of my life, I didn't really experience a lot of paranormal stuff for a little while, until I moved to Whitehall. And then it was like when I moved here, when I moved to this town I'm in, it really seems to have to do with the location, but I seem to attract and empower things and something. I don't think I'll know until I go before the Lord and He'll show me what this was all about. All right, that's it. I just thought I would tell a ghost story because not much going on in my life other than I've got some dental issues that I've got to get taken care of. And it's a bummer. More antibiotics, ibuprofen. I got to get this taken care of. So that, and I go to work in a couple days from now. I start working at a hardware store again, in charge of the plumbing department. So take care. God bless.